Mike Muse. Welcome to the Conversation, the Mike Muse Show. I am so excited to be in conversation with you all today, and I have some very, very special guests here with me today. I mean, I don't even know what they are to me. I mean, I am a fan of theirs. That is number one. Friends and family, and every time I see them, I just light up and I smile. I'm so proud of them, and I'm so proud of their journey, and I am just so dumbfounded at the gift that God has given them. Their vocal ability is like nothing that I have ever seen before. When you see them perform, it's moving. It sends chills up your body, and I do not say that at all with artists. And the connection that they have, it just translates on stage and also too translates through the music. They have a new album that is out, and I've been listening to this album track for track, and I just feel like this is almost like a bio album. And I'm going to ask them if I am right or wrong on that one, but this is an album where you actually feel the emotions, and I feel like I'm going on this journey and the experience with them. So without further ado, the incredible, the dynamic, my friends and my family, the War and Treaty. What is happening, y'all?
What an intro.
No, listen.
Thank you, man.
No, I meant every word of that. You guys are so phenomenal. And for those who don't know, Michael and Tanya Trotter, the War and Treaty. How are y'all feeling right now?
Feeling great. I mean, I'm just trying to take it all in. It's so stimulating right now. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm just trying to just take it in and just ride the wave and not just have everything here, but settle into what's happening. This is our last day here in New York. We've been on press week all week, and just trying to, it's so much hitting you at the same time that it's like, you know, so that's really right, and it's exciting. It's so exciting, but in the excitement, you're just trying to just really understand what's going on and processing it, and that takes time because it's coming so fast. So I'm grateful, very thankful that it's happening, and just full of excitement.
With your fly hair,
oh, thank you.
Listen, I'm not calming down at all. It's like this week is what I prayed for. This is what I wanted, and I think that I'm just full of excitement about everything, to be in here with you, someone we actually know, and someone who can actually testify to this journey. I'm like, I never thought we would get here, and we're here now, and there's so many other heres to get to, but right now I'm popping bottles, I'm celebrating, I'm excited about this moment, and I'm grateful.
I love that you are popping bottles and celebrating right now in this moment. I love that you guys are in the moment and you're staying with it. I mean, audience, I had dinner with this couple in Nashville before their first album even came out.
Yes, you did.
And so just to see where they are now, I'm a big believer that your gifts will make room for you, and I'm a big believer that is such a testament to the two of you. Like, the gifts have made room in spite of all the challenges that I personally know about and the public knows about too now. Your gifts have made room for you.
Yes, it has. It really has.
There's a moment on this song, on the album, and this is why I was playing it when you guys came in. It has had me on a chokehold, and when I listen to an album one time, I try and go all the way through without doing any repeats. And there was something about Love on Fire that I just could not let go. Like, I just kept repeating it and repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. So I'm just curious about, what is that song? Like, what is that song about? Because it truly has me in a chokehold.
Well, we wrote that song in Nashville with Jonathan Singleton. Michael and I went over to his studio, and we just start writing. You know, he started playing the music, and we went for it. And it's really what our love is all about. You know, it's always on fire. We do everything on fire. We make music on fire. We make love on fire. We fight on fire. It's just on fire all the time.
Let's go back to the second part. Making love on fire.
We do.
Let's just stay there for me.
We do all of it on fire.
That's what that song is all about. It's all about that moment. The moments that you make love, you create love, you stay in love. Like, love is on fire, you know. And shout out to Jonathan. That's what that song is about.
But what were y'all going through as a couple in that period of recording that song?
I think
what I want to know, because I feel like what energy is being transferred to me.
The same energy that we have now in our genre. The genre that we're listening is country music, and when you look like us and you're in that genre, there are many days and many nights where you've got to stand face to face with each other, grab each other's hand, and say, "It's us and nothing." It's us and nothing. And no matter how many looks we get, no matter how many no's, no matter who shows up and who doesn't, will you be there? Because as long as you're there, I'm there. That's the audience I'm looking for, is her. That's what we were going through. And that's what we go through every day at the end of the night, or early in the mornings. We're always thinking of what we can do to make sure that we're staying true to us. But I believe that is what you're hearing. I think it's it's out of our control. When you're leaning in real slow, that's what you're seeing and hearing in that song.
So then maybe that's why it connected with me, right?
Yeah.
Like, I've been saying a lot, very openly and publicly, that for me this year is about me being at ease. Like, I feel at ease. I feel like I have nothing to prove anymore,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And if you don't see it, that's a you thing, and that's not a me thing.
Ooh,
and I'm going to
love
make
that.
you so uncomfortable telling me no,
Yes.
right?
I love
to
that.
my face. And so I'm just at ease about me. And I think as I was listening to this album when I was walking the streets of New York. And so when I was just walking, I think that's what I was feeling, right? Is walking the streets of New York, being at ease with self, but really listening to that message, although this is about love. But what you just said, Michael, it's about pushing back on this genre while maintaining your authenticity.
Yeah, definitely. You have to. I mean, I think when you know who you are. 2, when you're authentic. And 3, when you just are settled. My mother used to always say, if you chase a dog, it'll run. A dog's nature is to chase you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your nature is to just allow it to chase you. Anything you chase is going to go the exact other way. So when you're settled in it, and when you understand who you are, and when you are just head down to the plow working, it's amazing what attracts itself to you, because you're not, look at me, you're not the shiny toy, tap dancing. You're just being you.
Was there an ease about you, Tanya, about this album that came easy for it? This album doesn't seem forced.
No, it wasn't forced.
It seems very natural. It seems so authentic.
I think everything we do is authentic. There's an album that I really want to do. I have to be honest.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But this record, in this time, and who the War and Treaty is right now, I think it speaks to where we are at this moment in country music, and what we wanted to convey on this record. I think we did it with this record.
And what is that?
I think we pretty much, as you said, we were like, this is who we are. We're not going to change if we want to growl. We're not going to change if we want to throw a banjo and gospel vocals on top of it. It's who we are. It's what we do. And we bring the gospel. We bring the good news. We bring the soul to a genre that may not be used to hearing a woman growl. They may not be used to hearing a man sing the way Michael does, with the strength and the high notes and the conviction. So we bring everything that we have, and we're not trying to conform.
Yeah. Michael, is that why that song Skyscraper?
Oh boy, you didn't brought up Skyscraper. Well, that one there. So you talk about Journey. That one is probably the realest song.
I felt that.
Yeah.
And that's why I called it out my bio.
Yeah, because I wrote that song. I remember when that song was written. We just brought this up. We were living in Richmond, Virginia, in a group home for girls. I don't know how we landed there, but we were homeless, and someone just tucked us in this group home. And I remember one morning, looking at my daughters and my son, and looking at my wife, and just thinking of all the things that I've heard about me throughout the years. I'll never be nothing. I didn't gain too much weight. I mean, coming out of the military, you're supposed to be super fit. I came out 200 pounds heavier than what I was when I went in. And I kept having these moments of, I can't believe what I've done to myself, what I've done in my life. Now I'm married to Tanya freaking Blunt, and we're living in a group home in Richmond, Virginia. And I'm embarrassed. I don't want my daughters to go back home and tell their mom, who's my ex-wife, who once believed so much in me. And, I'm struggling. And then I breathe. And I look to the hills from whence cometh my help. And those hills pointed me to skyscrapers. And I thought about how beautiful they are in New York and how beautiful skyscrapers are. And then I listened, and a voice said, but you don't know how ugly the process is in building a skyscraper. You don't know how many people had hit their hands with the hammers, and how much burning the beams took, and how much dirt it took. And it encouraged me, and I was like, wow, I'm going to lose the weight. And I'm not just talking about the physical weight. I'm going to lose the spiritual weight, and I'm going to be me, and I'm going to become, and we're going to do this. And that's what Skyscrapers is all about. It's just about the process, falling in love with the process, even though it's ugly, even though it hurts, even though it's dangerous, but realizing that if you persevere, the end result is a skyscraper. You're going to be beautiful.
How many people can relate to that, right? We all have that journey, and I think that's why it was so beautiful, is that we've all had that moment of disappointment to ourselves.
Yeah.
And then we all have people who are betting on us, and the pressure that comes with trying to hit a grand slam for your loved one or your family or whoever you're responsible for, and the weight that it takes.
Yeah.
How were you able to come out of that to say, I can now write about that experience? Because that's healing.
Yeah, I think because for all of my life, I lived for others. I had done everything, done it for my mom, I done it for my dad, my siblings. Now, in my adult life, I was doing it for my daughters. I was joining the military. It was always for someone else. And this was the first moment in my life where I decided I'm freaking doing it for me. It's my time now. I'm doing it because I looked in the mirror one day and fell in love with the cracks. And I'm ready to be whole. That's what it was.
Tanya, I'm not in a partnership, but I think there's what I love about you guys' partnership is that you guys are always there for each other no matter what you are going through. That line in that vow, for better or for worse, I feel like it's really real. For the audience out there who is in partnership, right, whose partner may be struggling with so much identities and emotional trauma, right, and baggage, like, how were you able to, one, maintain for yourself, be there for your partner without losing yourself and your strength?
That's a great question. I've always been a finisher. You know, I start the race slow. You know, and I'm not saying smart enough. I've had people around me smart enough to tell me it's time for you to step out of the race. But I've always had my eye on the race. You know, and when I look at my husband and I look at what it was that he was going through, or even if I look at myself, I'll say, okay, right now is not the time for us to do music. Right now is the time for us to go get help. Even in my own journey, let's take a year off, go lay on your mama's couch, walk across the street and go get therapy for an entire year. Let's stop. Because if you stop, the game might change, the race may switch up, but it's still a race. You still have an opportunity to get back in the race. And when I looked at Michael, I was like, right now is an opportunity for us to actually heal so that we wouldn't be wherever I thought or I saw him going. Because when I first met him, I instantly saw a king. I was like, he's broken, but we can't take this person to where I see or you, the talent that you have in you to go to the next place. So it was being aware that we're going to finish, but we're going to take the time right now to take care of our mental health, ourselves, our marriage, our child, figure all this stuff out so that when we get to SiriusXM with Mike, we're not sitting in front of you crazy, you know, trying to figure it out. And so I think it's, you know what I mean? Seriously, I think it's, a lot of people are in the middle of the best moments of their lives, but they're not looking at their mental health. They're not looking at their health. They're not looking at their finances. They're not looking at the things that can stop you from really exploring or being a part of the greatest moments of your life. You can't have the greatest moments of your life when you're not mentally there. So as a spouse, my first thing was, okay, I went to therapy before I met him. So I knew the signs. I was that person, you know, I was the person that was not balanced at the time. But then when I found out he had gone to war and he'd had his own struggles, I was like, okay, we're going to figure this out together. And because we're partners, I'm going to hold your hand and we're going to jump off this building at the same time. I'm not jumping without you and you're not jumping without me. We're going to jump together and we're going to heal together. Because I didn't just heal him. He also healed me. He slowed me down enough to see, even in his gaps, I still had gaps, because healing is every day. So we have an everyday journey. Every single day as a couple, we're healing each other. You know, we're watching each other. We're
you guys are always dancing.
We're always it's a dance.
It's the art of the dance.
Yeah, it's an art of the dance. And we're finishers. So it's like at the end of the day, that's our race. Our race was today. Let's, at the end of the night, see if we finished it the right way. If we didn't, then let's sit down and talk about how tomorrow can be better.
But I think that's a metaphor of the art of the dance, because you guys even dance on your songs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, you guys, I'm always interested, like, who's going to come in at what point of a song, right? And it has nothing to do, I mean, the vocal ability is just unmatched from the both of you, right? And your vocal strength is just different for each other. So it's not about, like, who is the better sound. Yeah, there's some duos, some groups, you can tell who's going to come in first, right? Yeah. And you can tell who's only reserved for a certain part.
Yeah.
So this isn't about that, right?
Otis.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I feel like you guys even know how to dance on the album, right? There's, like, on Reminisce, when you come in first, I'm like, this makes so much sense.
That's
right?
the genius of Michael Trotter Jr.
Is
Michael's
it?
a genius.
Yeah.
I actually have the. It's a heavy. I'm gonna cry. I'm sorry, but it's a burden to carry sometimes, because he's so smart and he's a genius, you know. And to watch him work, to watch how he just embodies himself in the music, you know, that you don't see that. You know, he's brilliant. He really is. So when I'm in the studio, I want to say something. I'm like, I'm dumb. I can't talk. I can't speak. You do it. You do it. And he just gives, you know, I know when to be silent, and I know when to dance with the music, and I know when to jump in and jump out. And I'm crying tears of joy, because I'm so proud of him.
Ouch.
I really am.
And I'm
really
smiling at your tears of joy, because I think your tears are affirming what I called out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, you're doing this.
Yeah, because
it's your fault.
Yeah, I know.
You know it's gonna happen.
No, because I could that's how well crafted this album is.
Yeah.
An audience. This is what I mean by the art of the dance.
Yeah.
And I think partners falter, says a guy who's not in a partnership, right? But partners falter because they do not dance, right? They forget that there's a give and there's a take, right?
All the time.
There's an ebb and there's a flow, and it really shows in the craftsmanship, even how the words are written, right? Like, even in one of the songs I really love, I love all the songs, Love Like Whiskey, that's the metaphors of the whiskey, right? And when you say it, and what drinks are you talking about, right? And when to bring in the mother-in-law to reminisce. I'm just like, oh my dear God. Like, it's just so smart and brilliant with
It's really brilliant. And to watch him labor over this music, I wish that I had my daughter can attest to it. It's 24 hours every day. And sometimes I would just want to pull him to the side and say, just stop. Yeah. But I know that that's a part of his genius. Yeah. I know that's a part of him working it out.
On now?
I know he hates talking about himself.
Time to go on.
Because he's always talking about me, but I really wish that I had a camera that I could just put up in my house. Maybe I will next record, so that people can hear and see how he labors over this music.
I've been trying to get cameras in a particular part of our house for a long time.
Hold up.
Sir, our child is here.
Hold up. Wait, hold up now.
I bet you move on now.
Right, that's a subscription base now.
That's
we're talking subscription. Look at $9.99.
That's $20.
I gotta get her moving on.
Don't sell me cheap.
Don't tell me cheap, baby. You the $29.99 package.
Value package.
The bundle. Give me the bundle,
Give
baby.
me that.
The bundle, baby.
Camera in there.
We're gonna put a camera in the house for you. Yeah.
Well, Michael, but then let's go to your genius about that, right? Because I think there is something special that I just kept noticing throughout this theme. Like, it almost became this gamification for me as I was listening to the album. Like, every track, I was like, okay, who's gonna take the lead first? What metaphor they're gonna use? When's it gonna blend in? Like, everything for me became a gamification.
Yeah. Oh boy. I don't know.
Now he's speechless.
I just feel it. You know, I think of all our conversations that we've ever had, and I always try to start with us, and if the story isn't there, then I go down the lines, you know, and think about others. And but you know, when you have a vocalist like Tanya,
oh my God,
it's very difficult.
Like Tanya. A vocalist like Tanya.
Let's just stay there.
Wow.
And Tanya's vocal ability is like her fourth strength.
Yeah.
You know, like Tanya's first strength is her spirituality. Her spirit sings louder than anything about her. So I have to literally tune in to hear what her spirit is truly saying. And then Tanya's beauty just exudes. And then you think about, she says something that I will immediately cancel out.
No.
She's like, I'm dumb. Tanya is far from dumb.
Not dumb in that sense.
We knew what you meant.
Tanya is a speaker. She's a writer. She writes books. Tanya is phenomenal. Yeah. And Tanya is not just the love of my life, but Tanya's the captain of the ship, like truly. So it's very tempting to start every song with her leading because she leads in life that way. So I have to really be very careful how we craft these songs, what she says, what she doesn't say, what I say, what I don't say. And I don't get there without another band, actually, called the Civil Wars. Mm-hmm. They were the first, in my opinion, to intimately weave vocal cords and what they're trying to say and just follow each other and split here just to come back around like that. I mean, I love them. And so I feel that that's what everyone's hearing with Tanya and I.
Yeah, and I'll just clarify what I was trying to say. What I was saying is I think that we're in an information society, right? Everything is I'm so smart, I'm going to Google it, I'm going to chat GPT if I don't know it. And I think that
I ain't no chat.
There's something to being childlike. Children just don't know.
Yes.
And so that means they're dumb when it comes to that. They don't know. And I think for when we get in the studio,
my kids
and when we get to write, I'm in this one moment, regardless of all I know, I'm going to suspend all logic, all thought, all intelligence, and I'm just going to lean in on him. So I'm dumb when it comes to.
And that's why we don't have a hit.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I should step up and start
Tanya,
writing the
to
songs.
what you're saying, audience, Tanya, I had this exact conversation with my creative director who's in the room right now, Damian. We were talking about this yesterday, weren't we, Damian? We were just talking about, it was like a throwaway, it wasn't a throwaway conversation, it was like a side conversation. And I was just talking about like the value of like lighting, right? Like the value of like audio, right? And sound. And I was saying sometimes when I go in and to do the television, there was this, a person who asked me like to mic myself. And I was like, homie, I don't know what are you doing giving me this pack? Like, I don't know what to do. Like I don't understand that world. Like I don't understand AV. My job is to come in and think about like geopolitics, the nuclear energy, like that's what I mean. Like all the other stuff I am dumb at. So I know exactly what you mean. Like we have an expertise at certain things, and then there's expertise we have nothing. And I believe you have to allow those other persons to shine in their gift, right? Like I can't be, and I don't want to be the brilliant one on all the things.
Yes.
I think life would be so boring if you were the brilliant one on all the things when it comes to that.
Exactly.
Tanya, he talked about your vocal ability, and I want to give you guys credit too as well about why this album shines too as well. And then when we play the outro, I'm going to just call it out now, Jonah, Love Like Whiskey. Because for me, that song matches your vocal ability with it's a bright song, right? It's a bright song, and that's what Michael is talking about the spirituality that comes out. Like there is spirituality that comes out of your voice. And I'm going to be respectful, so I don't make sure I don't call out anyone's names. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody, but there's some vocalists out there that have incredible, powerful vocal cords and vocal abilities, and they show up for all the things, and then you listen to their album, and it's like, oh my God, like they didn't know how to produce you. They didn't know what tracks to use. You had that science down where you have this powerful vocal ability, but then the music matches your voice. How does that work? How do you guys think that through?
Again, it's the genius of Michael, you know, and being able to hear the sound because it's all sound, and you have to take the intellect out of singing. You know, you have to take. It's like spirituality. You know, that's what makes certain things work. When you put spirit into Black church and you take the intellect out of it, even though you can put intellect and spirit at the same time, and that's what makes a great church service. You have to have the foundation of who you are, the core of who you are. And for me, it's spirituality. I spend more time in my spiritual space than I spend on a stage. You know, it's almost like Jesus when they were like, well, how is he healing all these people? If you believe in Jesus, some people don't. He was spending his time praying. He was spending his time, so when it was time to touch somebody, they were falling out. He didn't have to conjure up smoke and put oil on them. He just walked past them and people falling out. I think it's how
Except that one time he did that spit mud thing.
You know, I think
that was a little weird, Jesus.
He was weird.
Spitting in mud and rubbing on people's eyes. was like, that's where SARS came from.
That's it. But it's spiritual. You know what I mean? I do. I really think it comes from play. It comes from all of not just the pain, but all the happiness too. I think people always have to have a place of pain where they bring things from. But I didn't always have pain. You know, I grew up with a great childhood. I grew up with my grandparents who were married for 73 years, my parents, my aunties, my uncles. So I dig from those places, and I dig from the plain places, and I put them together. And whatever sound we come up together with the Warren Treaty, that's what comes out.
What are you thinking when you're on stage? Because you hold such space on stage.
Oh.
Right? There's such a strong agency that you hold. Like,
I just think of all the people that wanted to do it and didn't do it.
Yeah.
My mom, my grandmother, my aunties, all the women in my church who were singers. I mean, I'm not saying singers. I'm talking about sang down on Sunday morning, flat foot. And I think about our journey, Michael and I think about everything we've gone through and just lay it right on the stage. That's it. That's therapy every night. It's free therapy. I don't have to sit on the couch. I stand in front of y'all every night and heal. You know, it's great.
That. I think that shows like the moment. You always have a look.
Yeah.
When you're on the stage, it's like you're looking away, like afar, right? It's like you're looking at the audience, but through the audience into something else.
Yeah.
And I've always been curious about that.
Do you ever? You know what amazes me about music and about sound? It is so supernatural to stand up on that stage and this sound comes out of your mouth and you don't know where it comes from. You're like, where is this coming from? Because I'm not conjuring this up. Where is this coming from? This is so much bigger than me, you know, and that's what, to me, is I'm shocked every night. There were times when I remember I didn't realize I had acid reflux and I went to go sing on stage and nothing came out. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. I was shocked too.
Yeah. Michael was like, what's wrong? I'm like, I can't sing.
Oh, I wasn't like, what's wrong? I'm like, oh my God, we're tanking.
Yeah.
Oh snap! This little lie of mine. I was like, I gotta do something.
Down goes Frazier.
Oh my God,
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
This is your part.
Yeah. I can't do both parts.
You didn't cough like that in rehearsal. Gee.
So it's supernatural, Michael. It's supernatural.
That's what I'm thinking.
It was terrible.
You were off the chain.
Oh, bro. It was like the Beyonce, Kelly, and Michelle fall, and they're like, oh.
Yeah, oh, there she goes.
He did not pick me up.
Yeah, no. You got to get up on your own.
He was like, get up on your own.
I was trying like both of us can't be the one. I'm like,
It was bad.
Yeah.
We in church too?
Yeah.
And they gave this grand old introduction about us and Tanya Blunt. And Michael Trotter coming in, and I'm like, all right, go ahead, Tanya.
Yeah.
We get to open up my mouth, Tanya. I was like, oh my God, what the hell is that? I was like, what are we doing?
What are you talking about?
Yo, like, you are so funny, bro. Like, it makes no sense.
You know what made that part worse? The worst part about that is I recovered us.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, what is a quick church song that they always just start singing?
Yeah.
I'm like, victory is my, come on, everybody. I'm doing the thing, and they all, oh yeah, Jesus, you know, and I'm doing my little ad-lib, and then we go, victory today is, I go, and then all of a sudden this voice comes out of nowhere.
Wow. I had one note.
And I'm like, who in the hell just stole my moment?
Right.
And it's Tanya. She didn't cough she didn't die the whole song. Just death. Just, I mean, held over, coughing, and I'm like,
3 minutes.
And then she goes, and then looks at me. I'm like, I didn't tell you to cough.
It's how you finish.
Right,
Then I said, I'm going to finish it.
Then she offended the church. She's like, y'all need to dust in here. It's too much dust.
Wait, now she wanted her shining moment.
That's right. Now she wanted. Now she
about to
come.
have it.
She
Yeah.
dream girled me.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I am telling. I was like, this is
No.
This is evil. This is the work of the devil. This is in the Lord's house.
Audience, you know what? I couldn't think of a better way to end that conversation with that, because that showed the range of this partnership.
Yes.
We don't cry, we don't laugh, we don't praise.
We did everything. Supernatural, and had a church service,
and then to end with such a high note with laughter. Yeah. I think, one, that's the beauty of art. I think that's the beauty of music. I think that's the beauty of your partnership. And I think that's the beauty of the album that you guys have delivered us. I think, audience, I told you, this was an amazing couple. It's an amazing partnership. You guys truly know how to dance together, and it comes out in the music. It comes out in your life. It comes out when you have to save each other on the stage, and you can still laugh at each other and have fun. And I think this is why I love this album so much the way that I do, and this is why I think this is a bio album. And I so thankful you guys are sharing your journey and being so vulnerable and so open and teaching us all how to dance. So I love you all. I'm so proud of you and what you guys have accomplished. And there's so much more here's to come, as you said, Michael. So cheers to more here's.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. We love you.
Love you. Until next time, folks. Peace.
Oh.